Welcome back. We had just taken a short break of our first part of a conversation we're having with Dennis Mwiti, a man who stands tall, stands strong and says, these things happened, but this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be. And I love that. Clarity and also being focused. Even if sometimes life may not go the way we wish for it to go, you'll be very surprised. Like in his story, he thought he would be a journalist. Here he is 9 years later as a person who is doing such amazing work in the disciplined profession that is, you know, that I don't want to misuse the words, but I know it's a disciplined profession, overcoming addiction and also understanding how to do it. And other than his work, he's also ministering as a missionary, or allowing God to use him as a vessel that is going and is keeping with helping families, young people, teens, and all kinds of people. And so we're going to hear more about that. Wow, Dennis, 12 steps of recovery. You had started with the denial, which I think everybody goes through with anything, not just addiction.
That's true.
Any traumatic event, you're like, ay, apana. But you still want to believe it's happening. And that's why we had started. So please carry on.
So I was on step 2. That talks about insanity, and I may talk about it.
Yes, please.
The rest you can just Google.
You can talk about it, then you can walk us through quickly. And in any case, anyone who wants specialized and more explanation, they can get a hold of you, right?
No problem.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so the denial is whereby the insanity, I'm sorry, when I was nursing my wound, that lasted for 1.5 years because I was plated.
Oh no.
Was walking on clutches, and so there is a time after 6 months I felt I'm now regaining some energy, but still I cannot walk. I used to carry 2 pillows, the bed pillows, carrying them literally to a club, and as we are seated, the way we are seated,
you put it, you hoist your leg.
Yes, I just stretch with another chair, and people could serve me. You see, they are also the society there. Let us be our brother's keeper.
True.
Because if we are that much compassionate, then they could not have done that.
Yes.
But still, I was using my position as an officer. You see, and probably the general public, most of them don't understand.
True.
It was really not good. And I call it insanity. You can imagine, mtu kwa club wana na pillow za kitanda ameekelea. But it was just a journey.
Yeah, it is a journey.
Maureen, it continued that way. Until 2017, now December, when I accessed my first loan of around 800,000, and I felt so tall. I was
you were standing on the money, standing on business.
But the 800K, 400K, I used it to open a club, a joint.
Oh wow!
This club was opened on 12th of December. By 24th of the same December, it was finished. And honestly, this club was not open for people. It was more of a private one.
Oh, wow.
Now, I started being so violent.
Yes.
I was now using one clutch.
Yes.
And when customers could come, I could beat them.
Oh, no.
You see, and have the person who was serving was my very, very, very best friend from high school. We could close ourselves there and continue now with everything. That is insanity. 300,000. Honestly, I don't know where I can't account for it. Kuna mali hapo Meru inaitwa Makutano bwana that place nafikanga hata sasa inapita mbio sana. Isinione. And the 100,000 that was left, I remember I bought a second-hand motorbike. And now when the club was done and the business, the business is gone. The payslip is looking at you. Is reduced. Actually, so, nothing.
Nothing is coming in because you have to service this loan.
That is. Yes. January was recalled back. Now come back to the station. Please, at least we will be monitoring you from where you are.
It's important to acknowledge the fact that matters of mental health, because that's where addiction falls and all all the wide range of issues that happen. And we can say that recently it's when we are seeing, especially during COVID, that's when we've seen people speaking more. And of course, even mental health for men, it's something that finally people are recognizing. But I think it's so amazing to recognize your department for being patient to you or with you. Instead of dismissing you, they're telling you, come closer, let's see what's happening. Could you just walk us through that?
Yeah, honestly, Maureen, as you've just said, mental health to men and to especially men in uniform has been something at the rise. And during those active addictions, actually, I just want people to know there are sometimes you get to extremes that even the services cannot withstand you again because they have mandates and they have guidelines to perform. But on this special occasion, I would just want to say thank you to the Kenya Prison Service. I was dismissed, by the way, after a relapse.
I see. So this is after they've told you to come back.
The first thing what they did, they really worked everything for best and for better. And I was taken for the first rehab.
Whoa.
I came back. I started this program. And I was hit again by some oppositions. I was also hit by, you see, man is man. Obviously, addiction being a relapsing disease, I relapsed again severally. Unajua, Biblia inasemanga shetani moja akitoka anarudi saba. The same case as addiction.
I agree 100%, yes.
So it was so impactful. And I was taken back for the second rehab. And after the second rehab, now I could not do things right. Kiburi sometimes si mzuri. And I tell people, these are the factors. Stupidity.
Yeah, mtu akiwa mdogo, unaonanga kama wanasema nini.
That's true.
Yeah.
And after staying out for 2 years, the prison service still and me reinstated.
Wow.
And what I tell people here is, do something.
Yes.
That at least to leave a mark, something that will touch our life. Because if I was bad, I could not be back again.
And it's true. So they saw something in you.
Yeah, sure.
And definitely what they're thinking of is how can we make this young man get out of this so that he can live his purpose.
That's true.
Yes.
And actually there is something that we call the recovery capital. And I believe the Kenya Prison Service, Directorate of Welfare, they are my first recovery capital.
Wow.
Honestly, as we talk, they are holding me so close.
Yes.
Because they know what I need.
As a person and as what you do.
Yes, that's true.
The missionary work you do.
The missionary work.
Yes.
I say it's home.
Yes.
Because the program itself is in partnership with them. The only thing, Maureen, that I can do just to show to my bosses when wamenishikilia hivi, or we talk of giving back, is continuing the advocacy gospel now through YADA.
True.
Through a program we call the Andrew's program. When Andrew met Christ, he didn't keep quiet.
Wow.
He went spreading the gospel.
Yes.
And the first person immediately did so too was Simon, his brother.
Yes.
And from the setup, my brothers are the people that we work to.
Yes.
You hear from my accident, the first people to come and rescue me was not my mom.
Yes.
Was the prison service.
Absolutely.
So just to mention from aside kidogo, we will be doing 4 programs for a period of 1 year. And I know it shall extend forever because I believe this YADA should do me. It's not mine, it's God's.
Absolutely,
you see?
Yes.
The 4 programs are creation of awareness, trainings, baseline service, and putting up of psychosocial support desks for people like Dennis, for people who come to prison for visiting. Kuna watu wanakujanga visiting. They are not employed by the prison service, but they need help.
Yes.
So they can be helped from our facility.
Absolutely, yes.
I think that's what I just asked God, show me how I can give back to the prisons department. It's hard to write in itango aje barua ya shukran kwa kila mmoja.
Yes, it's
but
true.
when I do that,
me,
I just want them to feel appreciated.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I hope they will be able to come across this.
Amen.
And not only on your own behalf, but true. On my own behalf.
Amen.
Because unfortunately I lost a my young sister to addiction at a very young age. She was a year younger than you, and the department, or rather where she was working, they did try. They actually had a mental health department. They gave her the option for rehabilitation, and I know that they say addicts have the sweetest tongue. They will say anything, anything. And somehow she managed to get out of the hospital, and then she didn't even last longer than that. But it is incredible to just hear that, yes, indeed, we're making milestones. And just like I'm sitting here, whoever is listening, I'm sure even the crew, they're like, oh, such a thing exists. It's amazing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
All right, so could you tell us about how now you started your NGO?
My NGO started after suffering what you started first by saying the pits. I call them the pits of addiction, but I'm reminded by someone called Burale Robert that I follow closely. He says, the pits will not last, victory is assured. From the suicidal minds. It's a long story. We cannot just go your pande yote. From suicidal minds, killing of parents, kutaka kuua those myself, taking poison 4 times. It was more of a mission. When I was at Precision Counseling Home, a place that I call home up to today, that's where I was for my 2 times rehabilitation program. When I was asleep, I saw sheep. Me, I'm born an evangelist. Na nikuzaliwa. Because when I was in high school, I used to preach in every class, but for fun. And they could book me prior. The prep was heading at 10, and so they could come and get me at 9:30.
That's nice,
I didn't know, actually, it's something that was in me.
Wow.
Until I got saved. Nimejaribu kuokoka bwana. And you know, the best thing is that unavyoga ukiokoka once, umeokoka kabisa. Now, before even coming kwa rehab, nilikuwa nimeokoka 6 months.
Wow.
Lakini 6 months, I remember after getting saved, I started now being instrumental in the church. Ile siku na lead church, church imeja. The first time I preached, my pastor told me, Dennis, you have a calling here. And honestly, I did very well. But Maureen, believe you me, I could preach, sneak outside, take a puff of cigarette, na kama ni shash natumia, napiga mbili, wanasemaga kutoa moshi. Moshi moja mbili narudi. And I used to carry Versman, because Versman is my favorite. Ya kupiga ndio watu wasijue.
You mask the
ni
smell.
Mask. So sometimes, but my pastor knew I was suffering that. Until now, Maureen, when I was taken to that rehab, I saw something like sheep. I literally saw them. Ilikuwa around 6. I could see the sheep, heard the voice. So sikuwahi jua what happened.
When you say sheep, you mean sheep?
Wow.
Okay.
But now one of my advisors, who is also my closest family relative, she's my grandfather, he told me, Dennis, what you saw is even beyond the pulpit. And that's why I say, I'm not, people mistake sometimes. We are called in so many forms. And a missionary is someone who goes anywhere, everywhere. So I'm not trying to the pulpit. So that's how Yada was born. After sharing kwa kitu kama Nest, I remember it was Citizen TV and other medias. Yada International spotted me. And they just told me, what we will do for you is just give you the authorization letter. The rest will leave it to you. They don't fund. They don't know anything. But they follow closely. So I think it was also part of God to let me know this is something that has come from me, and it is me who will provide. So Yada was birthed in 2020. 2021, I went for second rehab. It was certified fully as a international NGO December 20th, 2022. We've been making steps kidogo. I funded personally, by the way, with my salary. Na time when nilifutwa job, my parents stood in. I can't let them down. They've never also left me, because probably they could see the mission that Dennis carries. Nothing has ever swayed back. Any financials, ku set up website, donations mali tunaenda, they stood out.
That that again, another support system. We must thank
Honestly.
your parents. And I can hear your mom coming up a lot.
Yeah.
And now both your parents are, you know, believing in your vision and mission.
Yeah.
And also a personal takeaway is you don't need to wait until you have Bill Gates money to start now doing what you're doing.
That is true.
And I'm guilty of it
because
every time I've been wanting to do something in relation to community, giving back to the community, I'm always like, I'm not ready. You know, and when you think about it, and I'm going to see you on the side, like the steps that it would take to get where you are, because the first step is the most important step.
That is true.
Then the rest follows.
Sure.
All right. So how is the what is the setup of the NGO? How does it work? Where can you be found? The
NGO is very simple. Me, I believe in being simple, but very much impactful.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are a team of 5 people, just the admin, the programs manager, the communications, a few advisors, some in the prisons department, others out of prison.
Yes.
And we are now authorized to operate in 5 counties.
Ah, okay. Yes.
That is Meru, Kiambu, Kisii, Nyamira, and Nairobi. And I would say we've already started working all of them.
Yes.
And our target people, I said it's not only the youth, but also the teens. Because you saw in my case, it started from my teenage times.
Your teenage, yes, exactly, yes.
And any avenue that we can have these people, including our parents, to inform them about good parenting, whether in church, in schools, in prisons, and any community setup. That's the way for YADA. And our core values are simple. Number 1 is honesty.
Yes.
If we wanted to be rich, the things that I've done probably with resource mobilization, I think I could be very
I have seen people enriching themselves in the name of, you know, NGOs,
charities,
and charity. And it's so saddening because why?
But my father, who is the chair, always keeps reminding us, serve purpose first and serve God's people.
Wow.
And live about making yourself rich. When that time comes, God will provide for you.
And He does.
And He does.
In abundance.
Yeah, sure. And that's why I've wanted us to just remain the way we are. So my admin comes with a little, the programs comes with a little. We just do something in the prisons. And we are all over. And people think these people are billionaires. But I trust we are rich from within ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Number 2, we have dynamism with any theory, spiritual, medical, psychological. Sisi hatuwezi sema because we are faith-based, you cannot help the Muslim brothers. By the way, I love them so much. And when it comes to mental health, it's a respecter of none.
Thank you.
You have now to accept and address it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't know who is maybe a noble person, the so-called, in quotes in Kenya, nani ni nani. No. There are rehabs even for them. So it's something that cuts across all odds. Then we have teamwork. We work as a team. And that's why people ask me, how do you manage YADA and job?
Yeah, in fact, that was going to be my next question. Could you?
And how I manage, I was so sincere with myself and my boss. From the section to the directorate. They know YADA exists and they already know the heart of Dennis. It's something that is really coming kabisa nyumbani, because charity begins at home. Before I go to a secondary school, I'll make sure then I'll start with committee secondary. You see? Before I go to any other home, I'll start with committee medium where I am.
Absolutely.
Even before I help my younger brother, whom we work with also, he's a prisons guy also.
Oh, yes,
because
the one you were attending.
Because he has a family, I will first of all serve the mwenye, niko naye hapa, askari mwenye, probably ama mtoto wa askari, you see? That's my mind, you see? And we approach all those things in 3 dimensions. The first dimension, we call it the Good Samaritan. We work against all horns. Remember, the Good Samaritan left everything just to save that life. So as we look at hata kama ni the next people, me, I'm ready to be with them as much as there is a life that will save somewhere. We have the social workers. We have the mental health workers. Anyone who is noble, even a tout, the so-called makanga, watu hawajawahi jua. If I want to save a life in Ngong, I have to switch, hata kama sina fare, na msitu ibuda ni aje, kuna life naenda kusave. So even, I think there is a thing that I wish people see in that. Number 2, we have the advocacy gospel.
Yes, of course.
Now the advocacy, we call it the Andrews program. That after EMET, I talked about it. And then we have the homecoming. Homecoming, maybe people from rehab. Yes, you've done rehab. Our mission is to create awareness, yes. To offer treatment by partnering with noble and accredited rehab centers that are not there for business. They are there for mission. I believe in mission.
Absolutely.
Number 3, reintegration. People will ask you, yes, you've taken me for a rehab. So next?
Nitaenda wapi?
How
will my people accept me?
And we really work on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the homecoming.
Yes.
Probably with the inmates.
Yes.
You know how we'll do in partnership with the prisons.
Yes.
And also people in the rehab.
Yes.
There are people who have not yet gone the 2 ways, but they need to be reintegrated also.
Absolutely, yes.
Those now are the things that we do as Yada. And I said we really look up to partnership, noble partnerships.
Yes.
If you feel you are even a personal.
Yes.
The other day I was doing returns.
Yes.
At the NGOs, and they were like, Dennis, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You are the donor. Yes, I'm the donor. Because it's something out of me.
Yes.
Probably muzazi naye anasaidia kidogo, admini anasaidia, and we come out doing something.
Absolutely.
And people Maureen will call in, Dennis Yada assisted me.
Yes.
But I also believe in baby steps.
Yes.
Where it is today,
yes,
it has taken the heart of God.
Absolutely.
23rd of August,
yes,
Committee Command Talent Extravaganza.
For real?
There is a lot of talent from the officers, from the inmates there.
Yes.
And
the public is allowed to come?
Because now Dennis is part of the nest.
Yeah.
Even the nest is there.
Shika number. Because it's very important so that we can come and see. Again, I always encourage, the producer, if we have a chance to come out there and see what's happening, so be it. So 23rd
of August.
From what time?
From 8.
From 8.
So be there by 7 so that we will familiarize.
Umesema ni hapa Inda?
Committee medium.
Yes. Nitakuwa hapo.
Thank you.
Imagine I'm coming.
Asante. Karibu sana.
It's a done deal.
Hata wamesikia sasa tunajipanga.
Witnesses.
Kabisa.
Sawa. Thank you so much, Dennis, for your wonderful time, for teaching us so much. Yeah. It's always a privilege for me to sit across because I learn. This is a class I didn't even pay for, and I'm so happy that other people are able to experience you. So asante sana, and you're welcome anytime on the nest. Anytime you feel there's something happening, tweet. You're a friend of the nest. All right, guys, I've really enjoyed this interview. It's something close to my heart, having dealt with mental health issues and also helping and having the capacity for advocacy on the same, and seeing this other side. It's almost like it keeps giving, like an onion. You don't know when the next ring will come out. And as you've heard, you can be anything you want to be, but all those other things come after you have found who needs to be found, and that's your savior. That's my takeaway. So let us know what you think. I've been your host, Maureen Waititu. Until next time, it's a good night.